Hello, my fellow Ghoul Renegade, and welcome back to a brand new video of Ghoulish Reacts. And today we are back, diving in once again to the AAVARION Show. So in the last episode, we ended up finding out a lot more about the world of the AAVARION Show itself. We found out that we're actually in a city of Zion that possibly may be split up into different districts, as I theorized. Maybe like North Zion, South Zion, East, West Zion, yada yada. And we ended up watching a call between a couple, Eden and Gabriel. Gabriel was some kind of scientist working for some big greedy corporation, of course, and he ended up getting fired just because his boss was, well, a mean guy, we'll just say. And Eden, his wife, tried to encourage him about his self-worth, saying that he is worth a lot more than he thinks he is, even though Gabriel himself thinks that he's not worth anything. And then all of a sudden, an ad appears on the television, and it is an advertisement for lead chemist for Variant Labs, because ironically enough, Gabriel at his old job worked as a part-time chemist for this big corporation. Although it was never mentioned what the corporation was, I assumed it was Variant until at the very end of the video it did a total 180 and revealed that it was not Variant. So I'm assuming Gabriel, from encouragement from his wife, will be working at Variant Labs at some point in time. So we may see him later in the story, but I am unsure. And then the video ended off with them showing a teaser clip of this episode here. Anyway, the video that we're going to be reacting to today is called Michael by the AAVARION Show. Let's get into it. Okay, so we got a audio recording from a guy known as Sergeant Matthews.
Unit Z-22 to dispatch.
Okay.
We got a situation. Request immediate backup and forensic team. Unknown body. Heavily decomposed.
Ooh.
Limbs in its, We need all units on scene.
Ooh. Oh, there was like an orange liquid, and that creepy alarm started sounding. In the last video, I also theorized that maybe the chemicals that are being created in whatever laboratories, whether it be Variant Labs or some outside laboratory, maybe it is the thing, the catalyst per se, that is causing everything that might be happening on the AAVARION Show. And how I feel personally that Mason has a way bigger role to play with this. I don't think he's a one-off character. I think he has a huge role to play in this. Now, whether he's going to be the big bad or he's just going to be some kind of a goofy bystander, I don't know. But I have a feeling. I have a feeling inside that he knows a lot more than what he's showing. So let's continue on. The AAVARION Show, okay? So this must be Michael. Assistant Director Janine Caldwell.
Thank you. Make yourself comfortable. Okay. Sit on down. So, I got a weird question, and I know this...
Hosted by Mason AAVARION. Oh, is that... The AAVARION Show. Oh, that's... Oh, is that why it's called the AAVARION Show? Because it's his last name? Mason AAVARION. AAVARION Show. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. It's kind of like in Real World when we had a lot of popular talk shows, like especially like from the 70s and 80s and even early 2000s, like the 60s, 70s, and 80s. It was the Johnny Carson, the Late Late Show with Johnny Carson. Or the Tonight Show. Wait, no. Yeah, no, it was the Late Show with Johnny Carson, and then like early 2000s, it was the Late Show with Jay Leno, or the Late Show with Craig Ferguson and stuff like that. So I like how in a way they're kind of like parodying like almost real life, talk shows in a way. Interesting.
It's kind of just out of the blue, especially because you just came on the show. But I've been asking this to a lot of people recently, and I just gotten some iffy answers. Did you find the studio okay?
Oh, yeah, what do you mean? I beat you here, but Janine was real sweet and let me in.
You met Janine?
Yeah. She had a tray of hors d'oeuvres. Hors d'oeuvres? How do you say that? She had some snacks.
Okay, let me get this straight. You found the place okay.
Yeah.
Like the entrance, getting in the studio was okay.
I put in the Y and X axis on Google Maps and it brought me right here.
Okay, and you met Janine.
Okay, so Mason seems very, very confused about this because so far we have only ever heard Janine mentioned, never seen her once. And he seems really, really confused how he even met Janine. And the other thing that's very confusing for him right now, as of this moment, is that this guy found the studio perfectly fine, and he seems to remember everything as of this moment. When it comes to the other guests, like Vinka and Ratface specifically, they all had very blurry memories of them getting to the studio, and none of them ever met Janine. They didn't even see any people walking around the studio. And it's kind of odd that Mason is extremely confused about this. I don't know.
Yeah, in person.
She has great hair.
Huh.
She had a key card, swiped it.
Maybe I'm getting better at this.
Interviewing? You're leaving a lot of spaces.
Yeah, interviewing. That's
Oh, ooh, okay, I picked up that subtlety. Maybe I'm getting better at this. Ooh. That can mean something so much more. Because what he's talking about, I don't think he's talking about interviewing at all. I think he's talking about something else. I think maybe he's getting better at luring people into this show inside the lab, which that's my theory now. Because he mentioned a key card, this Michael guy. He mentioned that the person had a key card. And normally places with key cards is usually like high-end places with very high security. Like, certain places of business, labs, sometimes medical facilities.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Do me a favor, go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience.
Hey, I am Mike. I make tattoos in Columbia, South Carolina, and that's pretty much it. I make tats, I draw pictures.
That's cool. That's really cool. So I guess the first question, more or less, is how long have you been doing tattoos?
I started tattooing in, I think, 2015. It's been like 9 years. This will be my 10th year tattooing professionally. I did like a little stick and poke stuff in my buddy's attic when I was a little younger, but professionally it's been about 10 years.
Wow, 10 years.
9 years now, coming up on 10.
That's a lot of work on your portfolio.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many tattoos I've done. I have no clue. I've done some.
Next.
That's kind of the trials and tribulations of an artist. You never fully remember how many art pieces you've done, especially if your catalog is so huge. Some artists, they do remember every single one of them they've done. Some people, they can pull out an exact number, like, oh yeah, I've done exactly this many pieces, whether it be physical or digital, or if you're a tattooist, I've done this many canvases, stuff like that. But with certain artists, I know it's kind of hard to pull out an exact number.
Question. What are some of your favorite pieces that you've done?
Well, anything that's really big is always something I'm very excited about.
Oh, that is cool. That is a nice owl. I actually really like that. At first I thought it was Mothman, but once I looked at it, I was like, oh, it's an owl. That's a really cool owl. I like that.
Something I'm very excited about.
Yeah.
I've done one piece in particular that stands out is the sleeve I did for this guy who's got like a pretty wide exotic animal collection. So we did like a bunch of animals that he's owned. We did like a gala cockatoo and a snake and a huntsman spider and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, that's really cool. And we did it in like this sort of Japanese style, which is something that I do a lot, and that one really cool. And then I've got some backs that I've done and things like that.
So big pieces are more of your
I mean, they're definitely exciting for me.
Yeah.
It's always like humbling when somebody trusts me with something like that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like a large piece of skin and all that ink, definitely. I mean, that's a lot of trust goes into that.
Yeah, a lot.
What's the first, and maybe not only tattoo? What are some of the first pieces that you've done?
Like the first tattoos I've done.
Yeah,
well, I mean, early days there was a lot of really small stuff.
All right, it took me a couple minutes, but I finally got it. Chamber malfunction, critical failure. Looks like it says something connected. Looks like anger connected.
Light bulbs and things like that. Stuff that I can
there's that alarm.
Like by hand, and eventually when I started by hand. And
Huh, that's interesting. Michael wasn't paying attention to the alarm. It's almost like he didn't hear it. But Mason, he was hearing it, and Michael just kept talking on. Is this like a reverse type situation where it's going to affect Mason now and not the guest? Oh, intriguing. Okay, so this first little glitch I encounter, it says, my hands forget how to be hands. Well, that's certainly creepy. Okay, this next little glitch says, I can stabilize this. Ooh. So we're getting more messages through the glitches.
Go back to what you were saying.
Yeah. So when I started professionally
So Mason clearly got visibly distracted by the alarm, and it made him totally zone out. So maybe that kind of rules out my theory that the alarm or whatever is happening here only affects the guests. So it can affect him too. So not only are the guests at risk, but he is also at risk as well. That's interesting, because I only thought it could only affect the guests. But it turns out it can affect him too. So like the consequences are just as bad either way. Okay, this next glitch said seismic activity warning. Seismic. Oh, that's like earthquakes and stuff. Interesting.
Tattooing. I was able to do a koi fish on my buddy Nick. That was the first like true piece that I did. And my boss had taken us out and got us dinner and poured a bunch of soju in me. And then we went back. He was like, "All right, cut loose and do this koi fish on this kid's leg." And I did. It was the best tattoo I did probably for like 2 years.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's a great memory. I really miss Nick. He was a good pal of mine. We lost him a few years ago.
Oh, this was from the teaser that they showed in the last episode. They started talking about this guy, Nick, and then the video cut off there. Okay, so we're getting more context about this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right. Did you do it?
Did I do what?
Never mind.
What inspired you?
Ooh, okay, more weird implication there. So Michael kind of almost subtly implied, was Mason the one that offed Nick or killed him or something like that? Or was Mason the one responsible for Nick's death? Interesting.
To become a tattoo artist?
Well, so I played music for a long time, and I kind of reached a point where I realized that doing that maybe wasn't the most...
That orange glitch keeps showing up.
...viable career option.
Yeah.
I went in and got tattooed at the shop, and all these guys were in there tattooing, making a living doing art.
Ooh, what's wrong with Mason? He's like starting to get sick all of a sudden. That's new. Okay, this glitch says, I can be more. That kind of sounds like something Gabriel would kind of say, in a way. Because that last episode was talking about, it was Gabriel and Eden talking about self-worth. I can be more. So it's almost like this is coming from the perspective of Gabriel, like he started working at Variant Labs, started working with these chemicals or whatever, became the lead chemist, and something went wrong. And it's starting to go awry, and he's saying things like, oh, I can stabilize this, I can fix this, I can be more. Interesting.
They were making a living doing art, and it just seemed like... Hey.
Ooh, the alarm's starting to kick up, and Mason is getting really, really sick now. Okay, so this next glitch says amber-bilized, or I'm thinking the first word's amber something? Amber-bilized? Huh. Very odd.
Hey. You okay?
Yeah.
You want to take a break and get something to drink or something? We can
I'm
come back to it.
I'm good. I'm good, Mike. I usually have it together, and for some reason, I genuinely thought I had it together, because you found the place okay, and all the questions were going good. But now I'm like,
well, this is your thing, so
yeah,
good.
I'm coughing. I don't know why I'm coughing. I don't. Let's go.
You want to talk about some tattoos now?
Yeah, let's go to the next question. Next question. If you could design a full sleeve concept with no client input, what would be the theme?
Yeah, so I'm really into traditional Japanese stuff. I think I would really like to do something like with maybe a big Hanya mask and a snake, or maybe like a tiger.
Yeah.
Or even just doing like a big sleeve of just Japanese background elements, like just like lightning and clouds, or just water and rocks. Something like that would be really fulfilling for me.
Do you favor like Japanese themes? Because I can see a lot of Japanese themes going on.
Well, I would say I keep saying Japanese, but I would say it's just more like Asian in general.
Yeah.
I'm not a Japanese person.
Right.
I can't make true Japanese tattoos.
Yeah.
But a lot of my stuff tends to lean that way.
Cool. What's the current?
Hey, Michael shouldn't fault himself. Just because you're not part of a certain ethnicity or a certain culture doesn't mean you cannot try to do your best, the best that you can in that in that space. I mean, there's a lot of tattooists who specialize in Asian and Japanese tattoos, but they're not Asian or Japanese at all. Most of them are, some of them are white guys, some of them are black guys, some of them are Mexican guys. There are a lot of different ethnicities, a lot of different races. I don't think like being a tattooist or being an artist. I don't think that doesn't hold no prejudice. You know what I mean? There's no prejudice there. There's no color to it. Is kind of pretty much what I'm meaning. Like, I think anyone can do anything. Do whatever they want. It's just you got to have the drive for it.
Store you work at?
The shop I work at right now is called Sickle and Moon Tattoo. It's in
Nice.
5 Points in Columbia.
I love that
so
logo.
It's like in the college district. It's kind of a party area, but very good for like walk-ins. And that little village has kind of been a very familiar and happy place for me for a while, so I'm glad to be there.
Now, do you do anything besides tattoos, like other hobbies that people may or may not know about?
Yeah, so I play guitar. I play a couple different instruments, but guitar
Nice.
is the main one. I've played in a few bands around town and stuff like that. I was really big into skateboarding when I was younger also, but now I can do that vicariously through my kids.
Ooh, he's getting worse.
And
Oh.
that doesn't look good. Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Hey man, these are new.
Why is that?
Huh?
That orange?
Why is it orange? Okay, so Mason is coughing up. He's choking up this orange type of liquid. So now my mind is starting to shift. Something tells me, kind of speaking back to the last episode with Gabriel and Eden. Gabriel is a chemist. He works solely with chemicals. I kind of assumed that maybe it was a gas type thing. But now I'm thinking this is more of like a sickness, like a disease type thing. So there's like a virus going around that's causing, like, whatever this orange stuff is. It is very toxic to the human body. It causes you to possibly hear and see things that aren't there, hallucinatory, whether it be visual or auditory, visual hallucinations or auditory hallucinations. So it causes you to see and hear things that others can't see unless they are afflicted with the same orange substance. And it obviously is very toxic to the human body. I mean, Mason, he does not look like he's doing well here. Ah, man, this episode's actually making me kind of feel bad for him. I was kind of fully on the train that he knows more than he's letting on, but this episode's kind of revealing that might be only half true, and maybe he doesn't fully know what's going on. Maybe he's just, what's it called? A collateral damage in terms of this whole situation. So it's like if he perishes, it doesn't matter. Interesting. Okay.
Eat some Cheetos.
Maybe that's what I needed to get out. I don't know. Sorry about that.
That's odd. We're not putting quarters in this thing.
Now, what are some of the aesthetics that you want from the photo shoot? Like, what are we going to go for?
Oh, yeah, I mean, we'll probably just do something kind of raw, something a little bit aggressive, I think. Maybe black and white, kind of gritty, channeling some of that hardcore show energy, maybe some skate kind of feels to it, I think would be cool.
Definitely, cool.
Yeah.
That sounds cool to me.
Yeah.
Sounds like a really easy shoot on it.
Totally, throw that fisheye lens on and it'll all be cool, no matter what,
Definitely. With the concept already laid out, we moved on to refining the details, piecing together the costumes, setting up the props, and fully immersing in the blend of black and white aesthetics with the raw intensity of Tony Hawk culture and underground hardcore.
And with the power of...
Oh.
Sasquatch.
Bruh, did he just take a picture? He looked like he just pulled out his phone and just snapped a picture while Mason was just spewing orange goo out of his body.
And with the power of...
Oh. He totally did. He held up his phone and he snapped a picture. Oh my goodness.
Sasquatch, here's the end result.
Why is it orange?
Okay, so that is the end of the episode. This one had a lot of stuff going on. It was a lot more in depth. Man, not gonna lie, I do feel bad for Mason though. I do. I was thinking, my theory was kind of pointing that he was like kind of being more of a villain in the series, and now it seems like he's just a innocent bystander who, kind of halfway knows what's going on, but doesn't know the full true extent of what's going on. And now he has this weird disease or sickness that's making him puke or cough up this orange chemical, this orange liquid that affects the human body in very bad ways and can possibly cause auditory and visual hallucinations. And it really makes me wonder, I wonder if Variant Labs... I'm assuming because they keep being brought up. I'm assuming Variant is the one behind this. Now, why are they doing this? What their motivation is? We don't particularly know at this moment, but I'm assuming as the later the series goes down the line, I'm thinking we're going to find out, like, what this all means and what it's all about. Well, guys, unfortunately, that is all the time that I have today for this video, so please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications when I upload new videos, and make sure to follow my social media links down in the description below to join the Ghoul Renegade. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!